All right.
All right.
All right, all right, all right.
Welcome to the Saturday Chat. This is Dave. I'm Ashley of SugarLimeBlue, and we're about to chat about
Get your coffee.
Sunday shout-out song we're doing tomorrow.
Get your coffee mug. Sunday shout-out. Get your coffee mug.
You're shaking it. You're doing the hokey pokey with it.
It's a little small. We got to find maybe a new supplier for coffee mugs.
Okay.
We never had, we didn't produce very many. It says good vibes. SugarLimeBlue. It has a founded date on there. It's a little small, but I like the feel of it. It has a nice, it's enamel. I like it.
It's metal.
So I think you can get that on our website, or if not, you can message us and I can get you one.
I'm about to learn how to make pottery just so I can make us some shout-out mugs.
So this week we came off the fire kick last week with an Alan Toussaint song. This week,
Fire?
The rain kick. We did fire and rain.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
Came off the rain kick. Or the one episode fire kick. And we started with our Alan Toussaint theme last week.
Toussaint.
Alan Toussaint. Yeah.
I think. I don't know. I'm not French. I don't know.
I go back and forth. In the beginning, I always thought it was Toussaint, but then I heard so many people say Toussaint, and I know that's not right. But then it gets confusing because he also had
Toussaint Studios.
Toussaint Studios. So then, yeah. So this week we're hitting an iconic song of his in my brain, but it's probably not to a lot of other people. A lot of other people would probably say things like Working in a Coal Mine, Southern Nights.
Southern Nights, I would say, would probably be his most recognizable tune.
I mean, Working in a Coal Mine is pretty high up there.
I mean, yeah. Yes.
However, I mean, he's written a lot of songs. This song was actually, did you know that it was given to the Pointer Sisters?
Mm-hmm.
And the song is Happiness.
Happiness.
Yeah, I don't think they had a really big hit with it. I don't even know that.
Well,
it really
he released it in May of 1978, and they released it in September of 1978. So there was a little short window.
So he had it out for a little bit, and then they covered it. Interesting.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that have covered it over the years.
His lineup for that album was insane. Like the studio musicians, I'm going to fanboy out for a minute.
Okay, go for it. I'm going to sip on my coffee while you fanboy.
So I did a deep dive on the song when we were in New Orleans because I got on an Alan Toussaint kick thanks to
Danny Jones,
our friend and mix extraordinaire, Danny Jones. He was at the conference as a.
I think you're looking for engineer,
mentor, and an engineer and a mix person are two different
What
jobs.
is a mix person called?
So, a mixer.
A mixer, but I thought that was so.
But I mean, they can do both. Like they can do. People. Can
I thought
cross.
a mixer was the board on which
nowadays I think it's a lot more common for people to do a lot of stuff. So the engineer, like usually an engineer, his job is to set up everybody's mics, make sure you get the right placement, and they will man the board a lot of times. Like sometimes they man the board, and then
that just seems like a studio tech.
No.
Wow, I need to go look up the anatomy of a studio now.
Yeah, I mean,
and see what everybody does.
In different studios, I'm sure, but like typically when I think of engineer, it's somebody who's
on a train.
Yeah, right. So.
Anyway, get back. I've derailed your train of thought. Okay, you were talking about Danny Jones.
This great album.
And him being a mixer.
We went in deep dive because he did some work at Toussaint Studio.
Yes, for years.
For years and worked with Alan Toussaint. And then, is probably responsible for some of the greatness we hear on some of these records. Mm-hmm. And so special shout out to him for encouraging. I mean, he didn't say anything to us about it, but as far as
he's just an encouraging human, though.
It was an inspiration enough to be kind of seeping in that type of music in New Orleans. And having already loved Alan Toussaint so much, I was like, no, we got to bring some Alan Toussaint. So we've done it in the past, and here we are. And this album in particular has always been one that I've admired. I would love to get our full band behind it and do a shout out that way. But the cast on the original recording, ready for this?
Let's go.
So, drummer, who is probably one of many top drummers, and that's Jeff Porcaro. And he was a studio musician in LA. And in fact, this album was recorded at a Cherokee studio.
Tell me more about Jeff Porcaro.
Jeff Porcaro.
What else did this man do?
He was one of the founding members. So he was in a lot of the studio scene out there. But then Toto was a studio band, and Jeff Porcaro was the drummer for Toto. So if you think of songs like, a lot of people say like a lot of drummers aspire to be able to play the Rosanna beat because it's like super hard, and you always hear drummers like try to warm up with it to show off. But it's like one of those nuanced things that people don't always get right. Much like Stevie Ray is to guitar, like he has a very nuanced style of playing, and if you're not Stevie Ray Vaughan, then the chances of getting it are about 1%. You know, and the same thing with Jeff Porcaro. The chances of getting his beat exactly how he does it with his touch. You know, they have a certain touch. Every musician has their own touch.
It's a voice.
It's with their foot.
It's a voice.
Or with their hands. They have their own touch. So
we got Jeff on drums.
That being said, we got Jeff Porcaro on drums. Then we got the legendary Chuck Rainey on bass.
Tell me about Chuck Rainey.
Chuck Rainey is an amazing bass player that, again, another very much in the studio cat. A lot of his work people would know on Steely Dan albums. So, of course, many other studio albums. Like we could say and spend the rest of the chat like just talking about like the albums that he'd been on. Funny aside, though, I got to play with Chuck one time.
When did you play with Chuck?
In Texas at an open mic, and we played Black Magic Woman together. And
nice.
like I didn't really know who he was that well. Like I didn't know him by face for sure. And
this is in the age before the internet, before Google
so I could
was
just
a
look
thing.
him up,
Yeah.
and I'd heard of Chuck Rainey and who he was, but I didn't know.
But not on
this
site.
man was Chuck Rainey,
Yes.
And we played Black Magic Woman, and after we were done, he was like, "I really appreciated your guitar playing. Like you have, I can't remember. He said you have a really good feel, or it's something along
something in
lines."
that vein. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, cool. Thank you very much. It was an open mic. Then afterwards, my friend came up and he's like, "Do you know who that was?" He's like, "That's Chuck Rainey." Oh, yeah, that's Chuck Rainey. And I was like, okay, cool. And then as I learned about Chuck Rainey, like I should have probably been a lot more intimidated and bothered than I was.
No, I'm glad that you weren't though, because you were able to just be in that moment.
Myself.
And
I was already nervous enough in those days just getting up at an open mic. And
right.
who thinks they're going to meet like
somebody,
like a musical celebrity?
Somebody that's been there and done the thing that you're looking to do.
Done that twice though, by the way. That's a story for another time. So those two guys. So
we got Chuck and Jeff,
and then on guitar. So they played pretty much the whole album. Chuck Rainey, I know he played on this song, but I think there was one other bass player on the album. On guitar, I'm nerding out. Sorry. On guitar, we had Larry Carlton.
Apologize.
Larry Carlton, another incredible studio cat. He did a lot of work with Joni Mitchell.
Okay.
So he has that kind of jazz understanding where he's responsible for another song we had a really hard time with, which was "Help Me, I Think I'm Falling."
Did we end up doing that one?
I think we did at one point. So you have to look back and listen to that. That was a challenge.
I don't know.
"Help Me" by Joni Mitchell.
Did we?
It was a rough song.
I still feel like
he has the ability to let all the other musicians kind of carry things, which it makes it really hard when you're trying to cover on guitar because then you have to adapt like all these other parts. But then he also plays some iconic parts that are hard to throw in if you're adapting to everybody else's parts, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So those were the big three. Now on background vocals on the album, and they weren't credited on this song, but I heard that maybe they were on it. So two legendary singers, Bonnie Raitt and Etta James. Mm-hmm. So another interesting part about that is like, wow, that's a weird mix, right? All these legendary people. How
we kind of have to wonder, yeah, exactly. Like, were they just in the studio at the same time?
Cherokee was where they recorded all the music, and of course, Alan Toussaint playing piano is amazing and singing. So they recorded all the music in Cherokee and Hollywood. Then they recorded all the vocals at Toussaint. So, like all the overdubs and, the background vocals, BGVs. So, yeah, it's a good album.
Yeah.
Like, anybody that's into, really good music and the production of music and high quality sounds and extraordinary bass playing and drumming, should check this album out.
I was reading a bit about Alan Toussaint's songwriting style.
Prolific, was that what it said? Writes a million songs.
Actually, I think it gave him the most perfect adjective that I would strive for. Buoyant.
Nice.
Right? So not that there's not something to drown in. There's something to drown in, but there's also something to float in. And so you can, like, we often talk about, like, seeing the positive in a negative situation, or, like, trying to put the negative aside in favor of the positive, because you have both in every situation. Even a lovely situation, it's going to be tinged with just the negatives of living. Like there's things you have to do. Like you must interrupt a good time sometimes to go use the bathroom. Not that that's necessarily a negative, but the interruption might be. So like to have an adjective so strong as buoyancy that is sort of a thread through all of his songwriting, I feel like what a lovely moniker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think that, like, I think I might have mentioned this last week, but Alan Toussaint, he's like, man, it's like he has the ability to paint a picture in a way and the production value as well. It's like, through his playing, it's like, because I think good producers make good players, like, so because they understand the song and they understand like how it's going to come out in the long run, because they can hear all the other parts in their head and they're playing for the song. So there's a difference for me between playing for the song and then being able to play for the song but anticipate what everybody else is going to play, right?
Yes.
So because you can play for the song, play minimally, but then maybe like you leave out parts that are not happening. So he just has this ability, like happiness. It sounds like happiness. Like, I mean, it's like I feel happy when I hear it. It makes me want to dance. You know, working in a coal mine, it feels trudging. Like even the Lee Dorsey version, which I'm sure he had a big hand in because he was a producer. You know, but the rhythm and the thing that's going on, it feels like trudging, like you're working in a coal mine swinging a pickaxe. I can picture it. You close your eyes, you listen to that song, you hear it. His version of Southern Nights in particular, which is vastly different than Glenn Campbell's.
Yes, it is.
I can see the fireflies at night in a swampy air. Yeah. I can feel the swampy air at night with the fireflies dancing on the horizon. It's nuts. It's like, so, I mean, he's been covered by
everyone.
We'll talk more, but he's been covered by everybody from Boz Scaggs, Glenn Campbell, you know, the
Pointer Sisters,
Pointer Sisters, you know. I mean, the list, you could go on. You could write a book just about the bands that have covered him, probably, you know. So, anyhow.
A prolific writer. A buoyant writer.
Join us next week to see what we're going to do, because I don't know, the catalog is so vast, and it's like we've done some in the past, so you can look some of them up, but this is new for us. We don't often delve into, I think we did a 3-day Tom Petty one or a 3-week Tom Petty one. We don't often get sidetracked into artists, so this is fun, you know, and he has a very wide-reaching catalog as far as sounds and ways that we could cover it. So, you know, I do say that, like, this song here is so drum and bass oriented. I feel like maybe I may have overshot it a little bit.
I don't think so.
But
it's exactly what it was meant to be.
But it'll be what it is.
You can tell us what you think of it.
And you can tell us what you think when you listen tomorrow. Yeah. Or if you've already heard it, then tell us what you think. Tell us what Alan Toussaint song you would like to hear.
Thank you guys for joining us for our Saturday chat. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow in our comments. We'll see you next week for another chat.
Like, subscribe, comment.